How's it going, everyone? I'm Honan,
I'm Oliver.
and today we are going to give a little bit of update on some news, some goings
Hmm.
ons, and
The
then,
usuals.
yes, 50-50, always having something insane happening.
Yeah.
And then we are going to do our, like, first kind of, I wouldn't be performance run, but it's like when they did the MVs for Queendom Puzzle.
Yeah. It's the
Charismatic,
signal song
yeah,
round.
yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
meant.
Yeah. Yeah. So I guess we'll start with the 50-50 stuff.
Yes.
So most recently there's been two kind of things that have happened. So the main thing is that Attractive filed and secured the copyrights for the English name of like 50-50 in the US, Japan, China, and the UK. So what that means obviously is that any of the promotions that they would have done under Warner, Attract holds the copyright to that name now, which
Yeah.
is kind of wild that they didn't already. But we saw this kind of thing with Blockberry that they just didn't um file for the copyright until after all the shit started hitting the fan. And it doesn't make any sense. Like, why would you not? Why wouldn't this be the first
Yeah,
thing you
copyright
do?
is like probably the most business 101 like
Right.
of running.
Like,
Especially you
I
named
guess
a
it's an
group
expense, but
and then you didn't
yeah,
copyright it like as you named it is insane to me. Like literally
yeah.
as you came up with the name you go, "Oh, copyright that like right
Yeah,
now."
and you see the situation where like the Korean name gets copyrighted, but the English name doesn't get copyrighted, or like a particular way of writing it doesn't get copyrighted.
Is it just cuz I think you told me before, right, that they're like kind of loose with the copyright stuff over there?
Yeah, well, Korean copyright law basically just isn't attached to copyright law elsewhere in the world. Like
Uh
Koreans don't care and will just use whatever,
so I guess
but
that
in the
would make
same way,
sense
it
maybe.
doesn't go both ways.
It
So
still
like,
doesn't make sense, right? Like even
no,
even
it's
thinking of
still
it that
wild.
way, it still doesn't.
Yeah, I think it's literally just like a small company looks at like whatever fee they have to pay to copyright. Because obviously you can't do it for free. You have to pay. I don't know what the fee is, but they're just like we'll do that later when we get some money, and they just never get around to it. So that it was because the members' families trademarked or copyrighted 50-50 in Korean, like pipity pipity. They are the ones who copyrighted that. So the Korean name, any promotions under the Korean name in Korea, which can only be done in Korea, obviously, would is under the right of the members' families.
Interesting.
So that creates a whole other no, that just like legalizes the dispute between the company and the families. Um, but what it does mean also is that it's completely separate from the givers and by extension Warner, I guess. I don't know what Warner's standpoint on any of this is anymore. They haven't said anything since it all started kicking off. I guess they just stepped back and are like, we'll just wait and see what happens.
Yeah, well, in their case, it's like, what can they do now? You know what I mean?
Well,
Like,
yeah, exactly. Unless they just step in and try and buy the group out, but like, which is what they were trying to do before, right? But I don't know. Anyway, it seems like Attractor never aren't going to let them go. So, but it also transpired that that Cheon, the producer from The Givers, um, just like lied about a whole bunch of stuff. So he lied about his obviously he lied about his alma mater, like his university education and stuff. He said that he went to Chungang University, which is actually not far from where I live. I even have a friend who goes there. um, and they like people like checked the records and they were like, yeah, no, no one by that name ever went here. And then he said that he had some experience working for different companies doing like management and music production, and they were found to like have not existed or like just they never knew who the guy was or whatever. So basically he came out and he was like, yes, well, it appears there's been a mistake, and I will correct that immediately, and just like deleted it off his profile and stuff, and like as acting like he didn't try and deliberately make himself look bigger and more professional than he is.
yeah, it's like uh, lying about your resume,
Yeah, literally.
essentially. Like to be
Yeah,
like, hey, look at how accomplished I am.
yeah.
Like,
Uh, and that obviously is not giving him any more credit or support. But it's fascinating how divided it seems on international lines. Like when Attract filed for the trademarks and stuff, all the international fans were like, "Oh, these evil company, and like get away from them, they're evil," blah, 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 coming down on him like that. And then when Cheon's like falsified stuff came out, all the Koreans were like, "Oh, this evil bastard, the
I know,
government,
it's
stay
like
away from him." And it's like this huge like apparent split. It's very interesting to look at.
it is just like it seems like now the whole that kind of story has just been flipped, and now I don't. But in Korea, I wonder, even with that happening, what becomes like the thought of 50-50 for them now, because now it's just all such a mess that...
Yeah, they're kind of screwed either way
Yeah.
at this point. Even if they kind of bow their heads and go back to attract, which is what people in Korea want, I think. I think it'll be very hard for them to find any room for growth or anything in the future. Yeah, it's hard to say. And obviously there's still more stuff to come. Like there's lots of legal stuff going on behind the scenes that we haven't heard the results of yet. So we'll have to stay tuned in that regard. But yeah, the situation is getting murkier and murkier, and people are becoming more and more divided on it. Yeah. And the girls are kind of just in between.
I mean,
stuck in the middle.
Understandably now, it's so wild now that I can understand if you're in Korea where you're just like, what the fuck is like, kind of like, you know, where you don't know what to feel about either side in it at first, because there's just so much stuff always coming out about it that seems to always be counteracting the other side. And now, like, what originally seemed like the side that was trying to do good for the girls, I guess, essentially, in theory, seems like the worst one involved. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. It's and I think the dude's uncle at some point he did an interview and he was like, "Yeah, my nephew's a con artist. Don't trust him." And it's like when your own family is coming out and being like, "Yeah, this dude's a bit of a shady Sam. Like, don't trust this guy." Like, yeah, it's I don't know. I feel bad for the girls, honestly. Like it really does just feel like they got straight manipulated by this dude who was just using them for money, and they fell for his charms, I guess.
Yeah, because originally it was like he's close to the family and the girls, but the other guy's so awkward that he isn't, right? Which is really weird for a CEO to be so awkward he can't communicate with, like.
Yeah, but I mean, in another sense, it does. It's like, I mean, like, I wouldn't expect my parents. Not that I work in the same industry, but I wouldn't expect my parents to be close with my CEO, you know. But it's like he was making the effort to go and see them and do all this stuff, and the other guy was like, "I'm just the company manager, and I'm going to manage the company and not get involved." I guess it's different strategies for doing it, but it does feel like Xion was just, like, from the start was just trying to use them.
It's just everyone involved just did the dumbest. Like it's like the dumbest thing they could do. I feel like it's not even like
basically
malicious between like the attract side guy, I guess you'd say, or something. But he's also just sounds really stupid in all this. Like,
yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, like international fans are really like eager to portray him as like this kind of epitome of the arch evil, like, K-pop company overlord who just uses and abuses groups and stuff. But I think he's just kind of dumb, like doesn't have any business acumen, and it's like if he had stats, his charisma would be really low.
It's like when someone has D&D and they throw the dice, he would always just have like a
he's rolling like no higher than a 3 like every time. Like it's just it's just not working out for him in that regard. Whereas the other guy's like got that high charisma, but his alignment is like or whatever. I don't know. I never played D&D.
No, neither. I just understand the concept of how it works.
So obviously next time we'll inevitably have more to say about it, but that's pretty much that.
I think the thing that's going to be most interesting in the future about that is like the family having those rights to the Korean promotion name is kind of weird, I guess.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily a bad thing. Like, I don't really have a problem with, like, well, I would prefer, like, the girls themselves, I guess, not so much the
Right. I think
family
it's
members having the
right
rights to
because
it or
then
whatever.
it can cause further issues down the line,
Yeah.
can't it? Like if the mother of one of the members has an issue with a different member, and it
Yeah,
can,
it just all sounds like
yeah,
such a big cluster.
yeah. Um, but I imagine that if they can reconcile, then I imagine a track can simply buy those rights from them, and then the money would go to the girls or the girls' families, and that maybe would be a good like make weight.
I wonder if, like, almost they would be, if Attract's angry about, like, the family having, I guess, the Korean name rights
Yeah,
for promotion. I wonder if they would just always promote, even in Korea, in just the English name.
yeah, that's also a possibility. Yeah. Some places I think don't allow it. I think I don't know where like some places will just stoutly refuse to use English names for things,
Oh,
and others
really?
are more open to it. Yeah, I don't know for sure, but I feel like I've seen some places where they just under no circumstances use.
Yeah.
You'll even see like a name like EXID like written out in Korean, like EXID, like in the full Korean word for it. Like, yeah,
It makes
but
sense. I mean, because maybe some parts, I don't feel like Romanized English should just be adapted everywhere or
well,
whatever.
no,
Like,
they're entitled to do it.
although I must say there was Romanized English very easily everywhere most of the time when I was in Seoul.
Yeah.
All right. Well, there was also Blackpink news, correct?
Yeah. So it's I think now it's like 12 or 11 days to go until their contracts expire, which is kind of wild to think about. But as of yet there has been no member has yet announced any contract renewal, which obviously has sparked a whole bunch of speculation and questions and thoughts about what the members might do. And if the members don't choose to resign, or if not all of them choose to resign, then what the future of the group will be. YG have been oddly talkative about it, given that YG is usually like famously tight-lipped about
Yeah.
everything. They've been saying like to the point that they came out and they made this pretty interesting statement where they said like no one like benefits YG as much as Blackpink does or something like that, which is true. Like factually, that's true. Um, they said YG Entertainment doesn't have any artists who have distinct results other than Blackpink. YG is currently focusing all of its capabilities on getting Blackpink to renew their contract. And I'm like, yo, imagine if you're a member of Treasure and you see that and you're like, you're about to release a new album. You're like, hey, come on.
So it's kind of true, though.
It is kind of true. Yeah, I think Blackpink amounts to like 70% of their profits or something.
Yeah, arguably, Blackpink is the biggest, like, pop group just in the world at the moment. I
Yeah.
understand BTS is, like, I'm
Yeah,
not saying they
what
aren't.
BTS are what
I'm saying
BTS are
just
on
in
hiatus,
the
yeah.
current moment, because BTS is not nearly as active, I would say.
Yeah, yeah,
I know
sure.
the solo stuff, yes, and stuff, but I'm not counting that really as a group kind of thing.
Yeah.
But in Blackpink's case, like, I think for them it's also quite difficult to just be Blackpink not at YG as well.
Yeah, I imagine it would be because they all have so many personal deals and brands and things working with them now that I imagine it would be it's already, as we've seen, hard for them to have their schedules align enough to do stuff as Blackpink together. I imagine if they weren't all under the same agency, it would be even harder. Possibly, maybe it might end up working out better because they can be more free. But obviously, then it depends what they choose to do. If they go independent, or if they go sign with other companies or whatever. So I guess it just comes down to speculation. There's been rumors that the one who is like proving most difficult is Lisa. There was speculation that she's been the most challenging to negotiate with, and that reminded me of like how years back there was that thing about how foreign idols get paid less you know, which is kind of to be expected, but that you would get an equal. Everyone and every Korean member on a team gets equal contract, and then the like Thai or Japanese member or whatever gets a lesser contract, and that probably was the case for Lisa in Blackpink. So she's probably like, hey, I'm a literal multi-millionaire brand now. Please give me my dues.
Yeah, well, if you, she's got like 90 million Instagram followers or some insane number like that.
Just crazy.
And
crazy
then
stuff.
I believe her solo career is the most successful like sales one, but also like on Spotify, I remember seeing she has like it's almost a billion plays I think on Money. I'm not even joking.
She's got
on like Spotify, so she probably legitimately could go to YG and be like, I could go solo and be like one of the biggest stars in the world or whatever.
Yeah,
you know.
So yeah, I think if they do choose to re-sign, I think we would end up with nothing changing. I don't think the girls themselves are that fussed about like oh because I think fans are like they should be demanding like 2 comebacks a year and blah 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 blah. I think that I'm like they don't give a shit about
that.
Yeah,
because if anything, they seem to just be enjoying that they're on like massive world tour, which as they should be. They're on like a massive global tour, playing Coachella touring. And everything. In their minds, they're probably thinking we don't have to like release stuff that often.
Yeah,
you know.
It's working out just fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think probably if they do resign, it'll be the usual like 2-year deal thing. So maybe they'll choose to do that. I think it would be sad. I think that YG is not in the mood or the habit of really letting groups continue if they're not within the company. Like we've kind of seen that with
Mamamoo and.
Well, that's not YG, obviously, but yeah, like that when like I don't think YG.
I thought you meant like we've seen that happening with other labels.
Well, yeah, we've seen that happening elsewhere, but it doesn't feel like a YG kind of thing.
Yeah, for sure, because 2NE1 was just like
yeah,
and right away.
And Dara, who just had her like solo debut, technically, hilariously. She was saying about what it was like when 2NE1 were kind of canned by YG. And it was like because they released a song and it only got like 11th or 10th in the charts, and someone at YG said, "Okay, it's clear you're washed now. Like so that's it." And then they released like their final song, and then that one was like a huge hit and got #1 again. And they thought that they were gonna get the contract extension, and YG was just like, "No, we're gonna debut Blackpink now." Bye. Like, and they were just cut. And like with Baby Monster around the corner, it's kind of YG's definitely kind of made their contingency.
Do you think something can be Blackpink again? I don't think it can. Like, I don't think Baby Monster or anything YG debuts could be that level of big. It's like anything Hybe releases, I don't think can be BTS. You know what I mean? I think those two are kind of sitting in like a space like this right now. And I'm not saying like Baby Monster can't be like this massive takes over like 4th gen girl group. I'm just saying I don't think they can be as big as what we're experiencing with Blackpink and BTS and stuff like that.
Yeah, well, I think it's hard to visualize it because BTS and Blackpink have reached such heights.
Yeah,
you know.
But Blackpink is like a name you could say in an American household, and someone will know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Of course. I think it's like. I would have thought that there wasn't going to be a group from Hybe that could reach that kind of huge level of fame, but at least certainly here for now, in the space of a year, what we've seen New Jeans achieve, I think is
I guess that's true. I kind of forgot about how fucking massive New Jeans is.
Yeah, I think like you were here and you saw it was like. They were everywhere.
No, yeah, that New Jeans is all over the place in the US too. It's like the oh my god,
right? Like because that had like that global TikTok like marketability, you know. So I don't know. It's hard to say. And there's also another thing around the corner which is going to be kind of affiliated. So we talked about it a bit last time, I think, about Island 2. The survival show, right? That Mnet's doing. Well, it's been revealed that they're going to be working with none other than Teddy and the Black Label, who will be their main producer. So it's going to be like a Teddy / the Black Label produced group.
Yes, he's super involved in Baby Monster and stuff. Because
I would assume so.
I would argue like he's very pivotal to like the actual success of that group and stuff. Because Blackpink, if you look at their hits and stuff, Teddy's all over that.
It's all him, yeah. Even though I think Blinks are kind of sick of him at this point, but maybe because he's kind of feels like his ideas are running a bit, dry. But
let him keep using the same massive library of horns. All right, I'm never tired of those Teddy horns.
But so yeah, I mean, so if he's involved with Baby Monster and he's going to have this new project group, which is going to be like a big deal. Obviously, it's going to be like a new Mnet group, or whatever. There's certainly room for projection that they could kind of cover the hole that Blackpink leave. But no, I don't think they're going to reach that level, especially not within the first few years.
No.
But it's tough. And people in Korea have talked about this as well. They kind of said, like the peak, or like the really like the top groups of the third gen reach levels that the fourth gen, and especially internationally, that the fourth gen is still nowhere near. And like while in the fourth gen in Korea, like you have like New Jeans and IVE or whatever who are doing really well, and you can see groups like Idol and stuff going to tour in the US and doing well, but then you compare it to like what Twice were just doing on their tour, and it's like okay.
Blackpink like doing Coachella and like, it's I guess I just can't visualize it, I think, because even if Baby Monster's insanely talented releases really good music, sometimes there's just like a collection of individuals in a group that is the perfect balance and like the perfect setup to be successful everywhere. And I feel like Blackpink just has that. And I don't really see that yet in like other groups.
Yeah. It really feels like Blackpink are like celebrities.
Yeah, exactly.
On their own, it's like when you see Jennie or Rosé or these sort of Jisoo doing something by themselves, you're like, that there is a freaking celebrity.
Mm-hmm.
But it's still kind of weird whenever you see a member from like New Jeans or something doing something by themselves. Like there was like I think maybe the exception to this, ironically, is probably Hanny, the Vietnamese member. She seems more at home doing that kind of stuff. But I recently just saw a picture of Wonyoung with Sydney Sweeney, of all people, and I'm like,
Wonyoung's believable because it's like if she wasn't an idol, I feel like she would just be a celebrity anyways or something. Like it's just
she could be famous for not doing anything.
Yeah.
Although apparently she's racist towards Spanish people.
Do we even want to get into that one? That one's so stupid that I don't even...
I mean, I'm sure there's many people who'd be like, yeah, child. When a child runs at you with his hands
Dude,
out.
if a child came out of nowhere, I'm ducking and diving. Like,
it's a combat situation, and I will address the situation appropriately.
Well, it's just anything, child, man, dog, it like comes out of nowhere Boomerang. Like this with their arm at you, and you're gonna kind of like, yo, like, you know what I mean? Like if you don't see it coming, and it's like it's a natural human reflex to be like, yo, what? Like
but and then the people were like, people saying, oh yeah, she's racist, she's colorist. She thinks that foreign people are dirty.
She hates Spanish people. Is that what they're trying to say?
And then people were posting clips of her like leaning over to like shake hands and wave at people and greet people and stuff, but in the same city like an hour later.
It's so clear that she just got like shocked. That someone was just like in her space out of nowhere. Like, that kid came in hot. It was like...
To be honest, I'd respect it if there was a K-provider who was just like, don't touch me, child.
Which I'm not like even blaming the kid in the situation or anything. Like, definitely his parents should have done a better job of like keeping him from just running into someone, essentially. Like...
I don't know if the security just like rugby tackle the kid.
Like... Well, I've security already had like a thing, right, where they toss someone around or something.
Like... Don't mess with us.
I don't know. That situation's so stupid. I saw that video and I felt my brain cells leaving my body as I was like...
But what it reminds me of is, I mean, this is a woman who got hate for eating a strawberry and eating pizza. But like, it does kind of remind me of how Jennie gets hate for fucking everything as well.
I think they have that it girl thing and people hate 100%. It or whatever,
Yeah,
because I think Jenny and Won Young both come across as like kind of confident in themselves people too, and I think sometimes
yeah,
people get insecure about like two really attractive women being confident in themselves,
yeah.
and
So
so
attractive, like intelligent, talented
yeah,
women who
so they're
who
like,
don't seem to have any
and you
visible.
like yourself.
Yeah, they don't have any visible flaws or whatever. Um, but well, Jenny was talking about this recently. She went on this podcast on like Dua Lipa apparently has a podcast on the BBC or something.
What?
Yeah, I know. So
That's actually kind of cool. I mean,
yeah, I mean, like fair play, Dua Lipa. Yeah, cool. Obviously, Dua Lipa has a fairly direct connection to Blackpink because she did a song with them. She's one of like
yeah.
their first
I would say that's actually
international
kind of like
collabs.
the best collab they did, in my opinion.
Kiss and Make Up. Yeah, it's a good song actually.
Yeah.
And yeah, they performed together and all that. Though Dua Lipa and Hwasa, that's the peak of K-pop collabs. Anyway, she so there was a talk about it, and Jenny was saying like how she's like basically just like not being confident in her dancing and stuff, and then how like her feet were getting messed up from wearing heels and stuff so much, and it was causing her to be like really unstable, and then that was causing her to like lose confidence, and then she was like getting sick from all the traveling and stuff, and then she kept having to go off stage, and every time she was like beating herself up about it, and then she knew she was like when she was like feeling like she to the point she was going to pass out, and she would like go off stage for a few minutes and then come back, she was like in her head thinking all I'm going to see tomorrow is all these articles and stuff like hating on me for doing this and stuff like that, and it's like you really start to feel sorry for the poor girl, like when they're in that kind of spotlight and whatever they're doing, they know that they're going to get shit on from every side because of it.
Yeah, and it makes you kind of realize that they do see all the stuff you see, like being commented about them and everything, which is unfortunate. You wish kind of like that you like to imagine that they live in like kind of oblivious to it, but it's
right.
like impossible to be oblivious to it.
Yeah, I always hope that idols don't use X.
Yeah,
how supposed to call it.
Oh my god. We're not even gonna get started because there's so many stupid things that happened with that. He tried to take the Twitter side down and then they stopped it because he didn't pay for the permit rights.
We could make a whole podcast just talking about
just
weird
talking
shit that
about
Elon's
crazy
done.
yeah. Yeah, in Jenny's case, that same interview, she there was a thing because she said like my current company is I remember people they grabbed that and were like, oh my god, is Jenny leaving Blackpink kind of thing, which I feel like it's kind of just like a general sentence or whatever. I don't feel like she was being like, I hate YG and I'm leaving YG tomorrow or something, you know? Like, although I do think if there's a possibility of them being Blackpink non-YG, it would be like the Black label, I guess.
Yeah,
where they get better contracts than what they currently have or something, but they still are closely tied into YG's network.
Yeah, yeah, because I mean that's what we've seen like G Dragon and Taeyang do and Daesung do, right? Oh no, not Daesung, but Taeyang and G Dragon.
Yeah.
And it's like, I guess the benefit is maybe Teddy is just more chill and less likely to directly meddle in your goings on, and maybe like because the music is coming from him and then there's no like extra level that they get like a bigger share of
I think with him they feel less like a managerial it feels more like an artist communicating with an artist maybe for them, you know, type of thing too. But
obviously they really respect Teddy, so
you've seen their relationship is good. Like there's like the Blackpink documentary thing, like they obviously all really get along well together with Teddy and stuff, which is a good thing if that's your boss. Like,
I think I would rather have Teddy as a boss than Yang Hyun Suk. Like.
Yes, I would 100% rather have Teddy as a boss.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it's just seen like Somi is having her first comeback in like 2 years or whatever, but she's like just been chilling, you know. She hasn't been like, it doesn't seem like she's been stressed or like not mad about not coming back. She's just doing her thing and like enjoying her life, and that's kind of what the thing of being an artist should be, right? Like not being forced into cranking out music.
Yeah, you never know, like unless someone says otherwise, if she's just like if the process is taking a long time because she has a specific way she wants something to come out or sound, and then it just hasn't reached that or something yet, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
Sometimes people forget that artists can be extremely like long
Very picky.
processed and picky to come out with music and stuff.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
look at like the breaks Tool would have between music sometimes and stuff. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. Could you imagine being in the Tool dungeon waiting for music to release? Like, that is like, people talk about YG's dungeon. Tool would be like, all right, I'll see you in a decade.
Yeah, see you in 20 years. Yeah, good luck. Speaking of YG, Acme are having their comeback next month, which is their first comeback in like 2 years.
That's interesting.
So
in their case, it has to be because of them, right?
Yeah, they made some songs.
Because they are like the full creative process of that group.
Yeah.
So like, well, he had a solo album. I don't believe Sehyun, right? Sehyun, is that how you say it? Sehyun. I don't believe she did release music over the last.
Not since Alien.
Not since Alien, right? Yeah, that was.
She's done like some OSTs and shit like that.
Okay. So she has been doing stuff then.
Yeah, she has a YouTube and she just does whatever. Just vibes, pure vibes. But I mean, but Acme obviously they chose to re-sign with YG despite kind of people kind of felt like they were marginalized or whatever. So clearly they felt like there was enough merit to staying with the company. So yeah, we'll wait and see, but we'll probably know, if not next week, we'll know the week after what the choices will have been.
Yeah, I think it's always easy for people to be like, oh, leave the company, like they suck or something, and then it's like, yeah, but it's not like the surrounding company options are exponentially better or something, you know?
Right. and like they've been some of them have been at YG for a lot longer than just Blackpink, right? Like,
yeah, Jisoo is like the face of like YG Entertainment kind of thing. Like I can't.
She's been there since she was like in her early teens or whatever.
Yeah. It's I like to think they'll all resign just because I would like to see Blackpink be what it is for a longer period of time. Whereas I feel like if they left YG, you would kind of see a diminished result of what Blackpink is, I guess, because there would be struggles involved with leaving YG that would affect that.
Unless they all went to the same place together, but I feel like if they're gonna leave, I feel like they're gonna go to different places.
Yeah, probably, because I feel like they all solo wise want to do completely separate things from each other. So like I could see Rose being like really artsy at like a different company.
Whereas Jisoo would be more interested in acting and stuff like that. Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah,
a week or two from now, we'll know.
Well, I guess then we will start getting into our Queendom reviews. On to the Queendom review then of, I guess it's Charismatic, and then what's the name of the other one? I rewatched the performance as Snap. Snap it to the bed. I do. They're very different songs, which I do enjoy that they were so different.
Very distinct. Yeah.
I'm just gonna start right away with my number one take. I thought Bora's team was better, even though they didn't win.
Okay, I kind of agree. Let's review it like like distinguished gentlemen that we are. So we'll start with Snap, shall we? So the Snap teams, I'll say the lineup. So there was the Athena team, which was Jury, Ellie, Miru, Huisa, Doha, Kei, and Fai. And then there was the Pick Cat team, which was Sanga, Yuki, Cherin, Rina, Yoram, Bora, and Yeon. And the Athena team won complete washout 27-0, smashed it and won, with Huisa being given the MVP. And I kind of disagreed with every aspect of that. I think it absolutely shouldn't have been like a clear.
No, it should have been a lot closer, in my opinion, for sure.
Yeah,
and not to mention, there was kind of like a narrative with it where they were like, oh, like this was the team of all the dropouts and they did really good. It's like, yeah, but it's not like anyone was like awful and that was dropped out or whatever.
Right.
It's like it just happened to be Bora had like a way she wanted to build the team or whatever.
Yeah.
And rewatching like Bora's team's performance, it's like, yeah, they just like it was like watching a music video. They absolutely like smashed it or whatever.
Yeah. I guess what I'll say first, what I say about kind of overall this whole Signal song thing was that it really showed what the concept of the show is, and that it's about like the pieces of a puzzle, because it was like really apparent which pieces were missing or lacking from different parts, right? So it was like the what stood out with the Snap teams was how you had all of the rapper girls in one team, right? You had Sanga, Yuki, and Yeon all on the same team, which meant that you had like Ellie and Fi and Jury kind of doing the like rap parts,
Mm.
and they don't have that same swag, you know, they don't have that same charisma about it.
Yeah, rewatching the performances, Bora's team when Yeon and Rina like
Yeah.
really stick
Oh my
out
God,
good in that.
Rena caught eyes everywhere. I think on that.
Yeah, Rina's start to the performance is better in my opinion in the MV.
Right.
That's not just because obviously I always love short hair queens or whatever, but she really does just like nail the vibe right away.
Yeah,
Like,
and we was getting all these compliments like, "Oh, she's so good at starting songs and stuff." But I'm
yeah,
like, I'll give Rena her dues. Like, she did really well.
yeah.
Yeah.
But the rapping, like you're saying, like the rappers in Bora's performance are so much smoother.
Mm.
Like the swag of the song, I guess, like really like they
They
pull
they
that
just
off in my opinion a lot
yeah
better.
yeah
Like where it seems more comfortable, I guess you'd say.
yeah
Which I
natural,
guess I
yeah.
understand from the judge's point of view. Maybe they're just thinking of okay, but this other group had to adapt or something,
Right, went
and they
out of
did
their
a good
comfort
job. Went out of
zones.
the comfort zone and did really smashed it or whatever. I'm not saying like I
Yeah,
hate completely that the other team won or anything. I just feel like yeah, it definitely should have been like a close battle.
yeah, for sure. Um, and if I had to give an MVP, I guess I could like picking an MVP from both sides. I think Rena would get it from
I agree that Reno
Athena
was
for
my
me.
MVP of Bora's performance as
I
well.
think she
Yeah,
she was just so. I think everyone on that team did really well, but I think she was so eye catching. You know, like
she sticks out through the whole performance.
yeah.
Yeah,
Partly it's helped by her like her outfit and her overall look, but like the way that she like carried herself and stuff was very eye catching too. And then on the Athena team, I think I would give it to Doha. Like, I mean, Doha in general has been smashing it on this show. Like, apart from her mess of an opening opening stage, but I thought like every time she was on stage or like went center, I was like, yo, like I'm just like fully immersed in what she's trying to do. Whereas with some of the other members, like it was kind of apparent that they weren't quite in the they didn't suit that vibe as naturally
yeah.
as
I will give five props that like she's definitely like adapted to the situation she's in really quickly and like really
yeah,
well.
for
Like
sure.
especially being in like that full MV set like that with all them like just like here you're in a music video like go like she didn't seem like
Yeah, yeah,
out
yeah.
of her comfort zone to be doing that like which is a
Yeah,
good thing. I validated for me a lot more why she's in the show instead
right.
of like that
Yeah,
she's keeping up on the same level and everything. Like,
yeah. Obviously, I'm further along in the show than you are, but yeah, she's definitely fit in exceptionally well. And it's kind of you're kind of worried that someone who hasn't had the idol training or whatever, and hasn't even had like the survival show experience like Miru has.
yeah,
It's you think, oh god, like she's gonna stick out like a sore thumb of just not being anywhere near as capable as the others, but like that's not been the case at all.
yeah,
So yeah,
I've
definitely
been
give props to
impressed
her.
by her for sure.
Yeah. Um, so I think we're both kind of in agreement on this one that we think that Team Pit Cat was robbed, but I think we can see that maybe there is like that imbalance, right? That it's like you
Yeah, I
have
can see the merit to
yeah
some of the decision on the other side. It's just the way the decision was just like unanimous. I'm like, nah, like that's just
yeah
there's no way. Like between
it's a
two
conspiracy.
performances, like yeah,
Yeah.
it did have that like narrative to it of like oh the drop out team like did so good so we have to give it to them or whatever, but it's like I don't like to think of it that way because it's like they're still all talented idols competing against each
Yeah.
other. It's not like amateurs were competing against pros or something. Like,
Right. Yeah. Um. Yeah. I guess the other stand. I think Bora did well, but I think Yeon and Yeonam were the other like big standouts for me on that team.
Yeon, if I didn't give it to Reno, would be the other one for me, just because like
Yeah,
she just has that
she
style
just
that
well
goes with
she
like
just she oozes charisma when
yeah
she's on
yeah
stage. Like she's yeah she feel it's like what why the idols like that is such a shame when their groups don't work out because you like she belongs on a stage.
yeah yeah.
You know, like
She just
she
pulls that vibe off so good too.
yeah,
Like
I think what you can really tell, I guess, the main like difference between the really seasoned pros and like the girls with less experience is like how their expressions and how they're like what they're showing even when they're not in the center and stuff like that. And like you can see the expressions that Yeon and Yoram are doing. It's like even when they're like off to the side or whatever and they're like smirking or like giving a little
yeah.
side glance at the camera and stuff, and you're just like, okay, like I can tell that an extra level here that they're showing.
I would argue that Yeon's like kind of vibe she pulls off and like flawlessness in that performance compared to the other one is one of the
Mm,
big factors of why I'm like, how is it unanimous that the other side won? Because
right.
like that same part of the song that she's doing in the other performance just is not pulled off nearly as good as she is pulling it
Yeah.
off.
Yeah, for
Like
sure.
she really sticks out whenever she's doing anything that involves being kind of like cool or like having swag oriented type of thing. You know, like
Yeah, yeah. And I guess yeah, the other team, I think, you had girls who are doing stuff out of their comfort zones and stuff, and it's like that's not, especially for Ellie, it's like her doing like this kind of like sub rap part is not where that's not her strong suit. Like she's a vocalist. And same for
yeah.
Fire. Like Fire herself has said, like, oh, I'm a singer. Let me sing. You know.
She
So I
does
think
look like she can do like the hip hop
she does.
part because
Yeah,
she just
she's got
has
the
that kind
vibe.
of cool
But she was
look.
doing
But
Yeon's part, and like you said, it didn't quite have the
no, it doesn't hit
same
the same because Yeon can really rap. Like that's the big
yeah.
difference. Like
Um, yeah, I think he did do a good job, and I think Doha obviously, like I said, really did a good job as well. But other than that, I think the Pit Cat team cleared them. So
yeah, because I
I
felt
don't know.
that way when I originally watched it, and I rewatched again, and I didn't leave with a different opinion. So it's not like there was something I missed the first time in the episode or something like that.
Yeah,
But I must say, yeah, it's just it's not even that it's the other team winning it. It's just because it was like unanimous, where that's like kind of ridiculous
yeah,
when you watch them. It's like no, there's not like a unanimous split between these two performances where I could go like that one just cleared them by like
yeah,
of the you know.
yeah,
It's
for
dumb.
sure.
It's Mnet.
Um,
I expect these
it is.
things. It's
Yeah,
like it's gonna have those things happen, and I just expect them every time.
and
It's
this
like,
is an interesting way to because like they released these songs like before they started doing this show, right?
mhm.
And it was like a way to kind of tease or like get people on board with the show and stuff, which is a pretty cool idea. I kind of like the idea of it's like well with the first Queendom we had like those little teaser snippets, those little brief performances and stuff that they did. It's kind of like that, but taken up to like up a notch basically.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, it's a certainly a cool concept. And then, so they the other song was
Charismatic.
charismatic. I will say as well, like I'm biased in the sense that I didn't really enjoy charismatic as a song, whereas I kind of like Snap. I wasn't like crazy about either of them, but I prefer Snap as
Snap's a better
song
song for sure. Yeah.
yeah. So we had the pick on the top, which was Jiwoo, Jihan, Nana, Jiwon, Wooyeon, and Soyeon. And then we had Drop the Beat, which was Suyeon, Ji, Soyeon, Zoa, Yeonhee, and Sujin.
I want so badly to say Jody's team because obviously I'm big Jody bias in this show as well. Was
Jury, you mean?
no, I thought he's
Jury was in the team that won
Jewy. I'm
on
sorry. Why
Snap.
am I saying Judy? I want Jewy because I'm watching
Jury.
Second World as well, you
Mm-hmm.
know, and then she's getting like kind of I'm getting two different shows where there's like moments with Jewy having like really bad kind of moments and being put down kind of thing, you know, and I just want this like which
She's in a struggle arc,
yeah,
basically.
yeah, and
Yeah.
sorry, like and then it's just I want her to have like that big like moment where she shines and stuff, but then Nana's team was just better.
Yeah,
Like,
this one I felt was more clear cut. That the team that won, which was the pick on the top team, like you said, they won
yeah.
21-6, and I feel like if the other team won 27-0, that this
This
is a
was the
team that
one where it
probably should
actually
have
could
done
have
that.
cleared, kind of,
Yeah,
and like, yeah,
yeah.
it's interesting.
It's kind of unfortunate. But yeah, you really did see like just a kind of clear difference in caliber. Even though I think the team that won, Nana was given MVP, which I think was deserved.
Yeah,
Um,
it's understandable when that
yeah,
happens.
I think you can tell like the clear, even though some of the other members don't necessarily do anything hugely impressive. I think the core of Nana, Jihan, and G1, I think kind of carried that team basically, and was so solid, and there wasn't as much. I think Zoa was probably the best member on the drop the beat team, and I don't
Yeah.
think she did
Nana's team
enough
was
to
like
kind of
cohesive. Like
bang
I
it.
thought I was watching an actual MV of like a debut
It could
girl
have been
group
a
or
group,
something,
yeah,
and then Nana's
yeah.
like this center that is just like dominating that group.
She like, oh, she's the main dancer then,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
and yeah, there was clear vibes like, oh, Jiwoo's the cute Maknae,
I
like
know,
it
but
was
like
all set,
watching
like,
both these shows live, I have like, and Tommy's in the chat too, just saying like, please for the love of God, someone put Jui on like Nana or someone's team that's just gonna like help
her.
carry her to victory or something, like.
Yeah,
Which she doesn't. She's very good, so I don't want her to be like carried by someone to victory.
right.
But it's just like I feel like she always ends up in like the worst situation.
The worst situations, yeah.
Like
yeah.
between both shows, kind of. Except like I did see her really kill it with Moonsua in Second World, which was a good thing, and I was like happy about that finally. But
Yeah.
I was God, it was,
I think
you're breaking my desk up some.
I think there's definitely going to be light at the end of the tunnel for Dewey, but yeah, it's right. And I think it really seems like she's been having some kind of like some health issues or something, because like on a few occasions when she's been performing, she's kind of been like out of breath, like running out of breath, and we saw it in
with
her
the Sunmi
opening
performance
stage.
and stuff. We saw that, yeah.
And it's not the only time that I've seen it happen for her, and I'm kind of thinking maybe she's got something's not quite right, because you shouldn't be like trying to catch your breath that much, and she doesn't look unfit, like,
yeah, no, and she's been around long enough that
she's
she knows how to
experienced,
perform like without completely running out of
so
breath.
it makes me kind of wonder that maybe something's not quite right with her, and hopefully she can fix anything if there's anything not working.
It's unfortunate. I'm hoping she ends up. I haven't seen obviously the future rounds. She can absolutely kill it for all I know.
Yeah,
but I'm just hoping she ends up in like a stacked team where she can shine and stuff, and comfortably get a dub.
Yeah. I know. I was going to ask a kind of mean question, but I guess we probably shouldn't be too negative. If there's anyone on the show that you've been like disappointed by, or anyone that you kind of were hoping to see more from so far.
I wouldn't say disappointed. I guess I would just say kind of like they have a high standard, At least so far from what I've seen, I think I went in thinking Yordam would just like hard smash everyone. And I wouldn't say that's happened just yet from what I've watched. But I would say Yordam also is kind of a little bit shy.
She's more reserved
compared to some of the other WJSN members. So it's not like I don't completely expect it. But I know how good she is too. So it's also kind of like when you see like someone... Let's say you're watching like a football game and then Messi has like an assist or something, right, and not a goal. It's kind of like, well, yeah, but I also know that you're Lionel Messi. So
right.
So it's
I think Yoram's vibe is like she doesn't have to prove anything to anyone.
Yeah, I get that.
So she's there like she's there for enjoying the ride and like enjoying the performances and stuff, but she's not like, I need this.
Oh, yeah. I just feel like she could absolutely just take a chokehold if she wanted to of a round and stuff.
Because I feel like the main comparison with her is with Nana, right? Because they're both like the main dancer types, And I think Nana's like the up and comer, and she has something to prove to show that she can hang, and Yoram's like, I don't care.
Yeah.
Basically, I mean, obviously she does care, but it's a different. They're at different stages in their careers, and they have
Yeah.
like a different attitude as
Which
a
which
result.
obviously still Yordam like killed her like own performance thing and then did good and like the snap thing, like she was still awesome. It's just
Yeah, yeah.
like I know she could be like the total like forefront of it,
The
you
the
know.
the beast
Like,
that she is. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Um.
Plus, the fact that she kind of looks like Taeyeon has always been an easy thing for her to just like dominate a video as well. If she's on
Sure.
screen.
You're naturally gonna look at her face. I
Yes, yes.
understand. Um. Yeah. For me, I think maybe it's a case of the other members in the group that are there with them kind of overshadowing a bit. But I've been a little disappointed with, especially Wooyeon from Wua, the one who buckled at doing the INVU note. Like that is
Well,
always
yeah,
gonna
that was
stick
just
with me. Um, and it's
yeah.
like when your teammate is getting all these praises over and over again, it just naturally kind of puts you in the shadow a bit, which sucks for her obviously because I'm sure she's perfectly talented and whatever, but it just yeah it feels a bit underwhelming. And same for some of the weekly girls. I feel like Jihan and Zoa are like doing so well that Soen and Sujin are kind of a little bit overshadowed by it.
That was kind of the same thing with Rocket, or not Rocket Punch, but
Mm,
Cherry Bullet as well, because Bora and why am I
G1.
G1 did like
Yeah, yeah,
smash it out of the
so
park,
good.
and
Yeah,
then
and
it was
Cheren's
like
kind of
yeah, just sitting
and
there like
and even in these videos we kind of saw the same thing. Like Cherin wasn't a huge standout in her performance, right? But
yeah.
but neither was Bora really. I think G1 was the standout, but and Bora was good. You know, she was solid. Um, yeah, I think Rocket Punch. I feel like they're still well, some of them, especially Yonhee. I think she's pushing herself to do things that she's not as good at, and it's like she if she plays to her strengths more, it'd be better for her. You
Mm.
know.
I don't know
Um,
if this is the
we'll
right
see.
way to describe it, but Jody from Rocket Punch just has like so much riz that that
Sure, that W is.
I feel like she can make it just from like having good performances and then being Journey. Does that make
Being
sense?
jury,
Like, because
sure.
she's just like so likable and enjoyable that
Yeah,
it's like I just need the bare minimum of like
yeah, for
acceptable
sure.
performance quality.
Yeah, like Jury's got a nice voice and stuff. I don't think anyone's going to point to her and say that she's the greatest stage performer of all time, but she's such a good idol.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, it's like
I think it's very
very
important
likable.
to also have that factor that she has of just being so likable or whatever.
Yeah, yeah,
Like someone can
absolutely.
smash it out of the park in all the performances, and then if they're like a piece of wood
Uh,
when they're
yeah,
afterwards or something, then it's like kind
yeah, yeah,
of
yeah.
you know
Absolutely.
like yeah, it's Journey like the way she showed up in the show, for example, is just like so iconic to me already. Like just strolling in with the two members
Yeah, yeah,
attached
that
to her and stuff
just
like
obscene. Yeah, everyone was
yeah,
taking it so seriously, and then
yeah.
she comes in like that. Yeah, great stuff. So you haven't seen any of the next round yet?
No, but I will by the time we're filming next time.
Yeah, yeah. So do you know what the songs are and stuff? I don't remember when they revealed
Oh,
that,
I think I
or like who the
did.
teams
Yeah,
are.
because there's like "Call Me Baby" and like the yeah, I did see what some of the songs
There isn't call me. There
were.
isn't call me maybe. Call me maybe or call
Call
me
Me
baby.
Maybe. I'm sorry, Call Me Maybe. I don't know why I was playing.
Carly Rae Jepsen.
Yeah. Oh my God. My
I
numbers.
just met
Call me.
you.
No.
And it's-
Shiny, right?
You're thinking of EXO, Call Me Baby. Call Me Baby. But
Yeah,
no, the
but it's
song
the Shiny song
it's
that
Shiny,
is.
Don't Call Me.
Yeah. Don't call me.
Don't Call Me Baby.
Yeah. And
So
then,
that,
God, it
so
would have
what
been
was-
pretty sick if it was Exo's calling. That is a good.
yeah, although that's been done on
Yeah,
shows
yeah,
like this
yeah.
before, so I'm kind of happy that they're spicing it up a bit.
Yeah.
So do you want me to tell you the
Yeah,
all the
tell me
songs
the
and
other ones
lineups, and
so I
you can
remember.
give me like a preview, and I won't spoil anything.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, so there's so Don't Call Me by Shiny, which is done by Miru, Yoram, Yeon, Wooyeon, and Zoa. We have a Twice song. Guess which Twice song? What do you think?
It's Dance the Night Away, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you know, yeah. So we have Bora, Soyeon, Yonhee, G1, and
I was
Cherin.
disappointed when they were making the teams to see Bora ended
like
up
all
in
of
that
Cherry
team.
Bullet.
Yeah, it's all Cherry Bullet, but for Bora specifically, because obviously she suits that really well, but I actually want to see her doing things like not in her comfort zone like
Well,
that.
I mean, she was out of it with Snap, right? But
No,
No,
I
it's like
guess
a
I
bit
just
of
feel
both.
like throwing Bora into like Dit's the Night Away is like, oh well, okay, here we go. She's gonna do all the Geo Nyan like high notes and Dit's the Night Away. It fits her
Yeah,
vibe. She could definitely pull
out
off the
sing the both of
very.
them combined.
She could
What?
definitely do the. I'm not gonna say that, but she could definitely do the very cute like vibe as well. Obviously,
Yeah,
so it like suits her. I kind of wanted to see
yeah.
everyone thrown into things that don't suit them.
G1 is just in pain
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
But well, speaking of like not suiting, for we have Idol Nude with Nana, Doha, Suyeon, and Jihan, and Jihan is the one that I'm just like, who put this baby in
Yeah.
this?
Well,
In
also,
this, how
I
could
do
you?
not need to see Nana doing G Idols, dude. Like,
Yeah. Well, you're
I'm
gonna.
hanging on by the tiniest bit of rope, and you're gonna throw Nana into that performance.
Yeah. We have Blackpink Shut Down, which is Rina, Sanga, Fai, and Twisa. So all of
Yeah,
High
that
Key's
one. I
representation.
remember that one being made, and oh my god, but Rena's gonna be something else. But I really wanted to see Yodam end up in that, or like Yeun or someone who I just know could have that like Lisa
That
swag
swagger, yeah.
of doing that part. Because one of the big disappointments for me when I watch a Blackpink cover is someone just doesn't have that. Like,
Doesn't have it, yeah.
they don't have that thing that like Lisa and Jennie have, where it's like they just ooze that like style from themselves. Like
There's not many who can really do it
Yeah.
the same way, yeah.
Lisa has like a stage presence of just like doing that without she could have that.
Like she's like effortless,
yeah,
yeah.
it's like she doesn't have to even try. Exactly.
Yeah, for sure. We also have Blue Soon, 17 BSS with Fighting, which obviously a big tune, which has
I've been saying who's gonna do the Young G part or whatever. That's gonna
yeah.
be
So I was thinking at first, I'm like, why do we have 6 girls doing this song when like we only have 5 in the Twice cover? Although it's like, who would you get if you had all 9? It would be like you have one girl have one line like Chaeyeon does in that song. But anyway, so Fighting it lineup is Sujin, Ellie, Yuki, Juri, Juri, and Jiwoo. And then the last one is probably the most unique song out of all of these, because these are all like pretty energetic idol type songs, And then we have Boa's only one,
which
is done
K
and Soen. Yeah.
K
So that's the vibe switch.
I kind of am disappointed K's just thrown
K's
in.
like K's exactly where she belongs.
I know, but like I kind of wanted to see K thrown into something so like unexpected as well.
I'd love to see K do Fighting, yeah.
Yeah. Imagine K doing like Shut.
Yeah. K doing Lisa's part in Shut.
Yeah. K's just like the being in that is just like I would be surprised if she doesn't get a win from that or something, just because it so suits kind of her in this round compared to the other performances.
Yeah. So if you had to just on the lineups alone, and I guess the songs and like what kind of performance you can visualize, what would be your preemptive ranking?
Since the first episode, since I've wanted justice for Rina, she's been kind of one of my faves throughout the show that's been like impressing me. I could see her really killing it in something like a Blackpink performance and making me go like, oh, wow, or something. But I have a feeling Nana and Idol is gonna just really send me over the edge. I would say Nana's Idol performance could be something that really impresses me, depending. I don't know. I haven't seen her quite do that style yet either.
Yeah, it's not really been something that we're.
Kay's gonna. Do I even like what? That's gonna be an easy W. Or
yeah,
bad. Like.
I think going into this round, it was like, well, I know exactly what this is gonna sound like, because it's like as soon as I could even close my eyes before I heard the song at all. I mean, obviously I knew the song before, but before I heard the performance, I could hear Kay's voice saying, "Only one, only one."
It's like someone put her in there. They're like, just cruise control through this one or something,
Almost like that was her stipulation for joining the show. She was like, yeah, I'll do it, but I have to do a cover of Only One.
Bora, if she I hope Bora doesn't try too hard or something, because Geo and Nayeon are difficult. Like,
Yeah,
and I don't
just not
think you
easy
need
sing, though.
to expand beyond that or anything.
And I think that's the kind of thing that Bora would
Yeah,
do.
that's what I'm worried about. Where she hears Geo or something, she's like, I could go like
I
maybe
can
a
I
little
can go
bit.
up another.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and it's like
yeah.
don't because it's
You don't
already
have to.
so ridiculously high.
Yeah.
Like most of the time, Nayeon and Geo are like living on the edge of like those vocals, you know. So and even if you can, I just don't think you should or something.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what do you think? Nude first? What
I'm
second?
just scared of Nana's idol performance because I'm scared of Nana.
Like, yeah, you should be scared of Doha. That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay. Well, and Nude is a song that's very enjoyable performance wise. So it's one of those ones out of all those choices there that could kind of suit my taste performance wise.
Yeah, you could do a lot with it because you could go down. I mean, it's already designed that with that cabaret vibe to it.
Yeah, nothing
like...
could do what Miyeon has done to me in those performances, but I'm still scared.
Okay.
That's another group. It is difficult, thinking about it. Soyeon has that kind of flawless swagger to her, and I don't think anyone in that lineup's gonna pull that off.
And even just the tone, like the tone is so distinctive.
Oh
it's
yeah,
like
Minnie's vocal tone. It's never happening.
Yeah, Minnie too. Yeah,
it's not happening. No one's gonna pull that like Minnie had learned to map.
Yeah.
No one's gonna do that her same way or whatever. It's like expecting someone to be Rosé in a Blackpink cover. It's just not happening for me. It's not like...
I think something I also thought about when I was looking at that group is that there is no out and out rapper in it. Like Nana, Doha, Soyeon, and Jihan.
To
like,
do those Soyeon kind of...
Like, I mean, Doha did like sub rap when she was in AOA. I guess she technically still is in AOA, but it's like not really what any of them are massively suited to. And obviously, it's such a dominant part of the song. There's two rap verses in it, so it's someone's gonna have to fill
There's
those.
no one with that oogie like. That Oogie also has that very distinct tone. Like, I would say it's unfortunate. I feel like Yin should have been in either that or Blackpink. Just because
Yin would be too easy for that one though, because she already has like that Soyeon-esque.
But that's why I kind of wanted to see it, because she could really carry a team through that kind of section, and then you can see the others kind of shine in those other parts. And that's now fair. I feel like someone really has to try and do something way out of their comfort zone, and that could end up being really bad. To try and be Soyeon. I just hope mini Soyeon doesn't end up trying to what is the
Sanga's she's in Blackpink one, so she'll be
that's interesting. She's gonna be
Lisa Rogeni.
Maybe she'll suit that better, because her trying to be like the Soyeon 2.0 hasn't really impressed me.
No.
Because I don't feel like anyone can really pull that off.
No. But then again, people said that about Hyuna. But we'll see.
We'll see.
Is there any group that you're like kind of worried about? You're like, not sure about this one. This looks like it would be a stinker.
Blackpink.
Worried about the Blackpink one, yeah.
Because I think that is the hardest thing to... It's so distinct, the tones in Blackpink, and every time I hear anyone cover it, it's always kind of a weird thing. There's just, like, Rosé is, like, almost impossible to cover, so you really just need to try and be completely different, because you can't be Rosé.
So it reminds me of remember when we watched Idol School, and they made a big thing about how Soyeon was in YG, right? They were like, oh, she's, she does that thing with G-Dragon, she's been in YG, and then they gave her, like, the YG song to do as one of the first rounds. And it was like she obviously just naturally fit it, even though like she's completely suited it because she had that training and had been there. Well, obviously Hisa was at YG as well. She's I think it's going to be a similar. It has a similar storyline. Just like it doesn't matter what your role in your group is. Once you've had that YG, it's been a very YG heavy episode. Once you've had that YG training, you can just do a Blackpink song
Yeah,
like no
yeah.
matter what. Like,
Well, and I feel like Rena can end up really impressing me, like again in it or something as
mhm.
well. So it's not like I don't have hope for that group or whatever. I guess the
Yeah.
other one would be like Bora's group doing literally Bora's group because it's literally Cherry Bullet
Yes.
doing Dance the Night Away could kind of feel a little like underwhelming maybe if it's just like Cherry Bullet covering Dance the Night Away feel to it or something.
Yeah,
You know?
three members of Cherry Bullet plus Yonhee from Rocket Punch plus who was the other one? Soyeon from Triple S.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's kind of a bit of a word. I guess I don't want to be mean or anything. I just feel like the Triple S members have been a little
Oh,
lackluster.
they're out of their depth.
Which I feel like
Yeah.
that's unfortunate. Like if like they don't kill it in your team or something too, where
Yeah.
kind of. I want them to do good. Obviously, it's just.
Yeah, no one. We don't want people to suffer.
No, I don't want anyone to do poorly.
They're definitely out of their depth. Like,
Yeah.
that's for sure. But yeah. Well, stay tuned. Now, well, next week we'll do our July roundup.
Yeah, and then
And
I will
then-
have seen
yeah.
all the next performances and stuff as well.
Yeah.
And then I'll know how dangerous Nana truly is.
Yeah.
There's just something terrifying about Nana, and that I know what that choreography for that song is, and like the style of it, and I don't need that in my life. I don't need Nana doing Mion's like sections of that song. So hopefully
Yeah.
she gets like the I don't know, they're all dangerous in that video, aren't they? There's no like part of that video where it's like, oh, this is casual or something.
Well, you can look forward to after that. We have it goes into the dance performance route.
Oh, there we go. So now Yoram's gonna take everyone by the chokehold.
So
this is when Yoram's
yeah.
been waiting to just like kick everyone.
Well,
in the
yeah,
dirt.
and I feel like that round was maybe like one of the highlights of Queendom 2, right? With the tell me now bit, you know, like that was like probably the lasting like moment of Queendom 2. Outside of the pantomime stage, obviously. But yeah, and then after that, which is I haven't got to this episode yet, which is the one which just aired. There's eliminations. Surprise! Mnet's like, haha, we're going to eliminate some people.
Oh, that's interesting. I thought maybe they were just gonna do it where like
I think we
at
all
the
did.
end of the show or something they decide a lineup or whatever.
Yeah, like with every Queendom so far, no one's been eliminated.
That's kind of lame.
Yeah, thanks, Mnet.
It's a
And,
very Mnet thing. I guess I shouldn't be surprised. Like it's not.
And worst of all, they as of yesterday, you can now vote every day instead of once a week. But I'm not going to open the app because I don't know who's been eliminated yet, and I don't want to be spoiled until I watch the episode.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But
Everything's gonna fall where it falls, I guess. Then, since they're doing
Yeah.
it that way, it's kind of whatever. It's up to Mnet's just always doing.
I'm worried for like Fi and Miru and Jury because
I'm
for
worried
obvious
for
reasons.
Bora because I feel like they've kind of just made this like.
They gave her a bit of a villain arc,
Yeah, they've given her a bit of like an unlikable editing, throughout the stuff I've been watching, and it's like unfortunate because Bora's like such a like
This huge
sweet
sweetheart.
person, like
Yeah.
like, and Mnet's just like we need someone to fucking hate in this like.
Mnet's watching it like, wait, everyone loved Bora on God's
Yeah.
planet. Let's turn her into the most evil, devilish
and they're always
person
doing
ever.
like this her and Kay like fucking thing, and her and
Yeah.
Rocket Punch thing. I don't know. It's just like.
I'm all for Cherry Bullet and Rocket Punch beefing. Give me that. I want to see
What
them
is
fight.
it? What was like you want like a celebrity boxing match between them? Or
Oh,
something?
mate. If they were on like I'll call KSI and get him to arrange them to have like an influencer boxing match.
Sponsored by Prime, the Bora.
To be fair though, I imagine
the
I
Bora
don't think anyone's taken Jury out. Like I reckon she probably fights like a
Jerry
lion.
seems like she'd be ready to box for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's I hope we don't get any lame arcs like that because of Mnet's crappy like vibe they always gotta throw in there, They're like, wait, people are enjoying each other's company. We need to make someone hate each other. Like,
yeah, time to spread salacious rumors.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it though. I'm looking forward to it, and also terrified. So that's
as you should be.
Yeah. Well, I guess any concluding thoughts?
No, I mean I can't say too much because obviously I've seen more than you have as of this moment. But yeah, I think overall I will say that I think the standard of performance has been higher in this show than it was in Queendom 2. Which I think when we talked about when we did our Queendom 2 reviews and stuff on this show, like we said, like some of these were kind of a bit lackluster. You know, there were good moments. Obviously, there were some great performances, but there were often ones that were just a bit flat. But here, outside of like the few kind of iffy ones in the in the intro round, I don't for the round you're about to see, I don't feel like anyone really missed.
Oh, nice. Like, well, then I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, you'll see, and obviously like. There was no stinkers.
To be fair to Queendom 2, Queendom 1 was just like too good.
It was, yeah.
So like it was always like a little bit too much to like live up to. The only thing is like Taeyeon is hosting, and that is like the greatest thing
that does
ever.
help.
So it's like,
yeah.
And I'm more afraid of what Taeyeon outfit is going to show up every episode that I'm
that itself has become an arc. Like you get these shots where all the girls are like waiting, like looking at the closed doors, like waiting to see and then it like kind of like emerges from the smoke, and everyone's like, "Oh my god, look at her!"
Yeah, this last outfit, I feel like she can't get scarier than that because that was like just too much.
She was wearing just like a lingerie corset and nothing else. And it was like what the hell is going on there?
A skirt that almost wasn't. I don't know. Like I don't know what Taeyeon decided. Like I'm just gonna flex on everyone here. Like how beautiful I still am or whatever. Like there's all these like young gorgeous idols. She's just like, yeah, but I'm still fucking Kim Taeyeon.
Yeah. That's the real reason of elimination is so she can feed off them. She can consume their life essence.
This is how she's keeping her like perfect like beautiful energy still going. All right. Well, I'm Honan.
I'm Oliver.
Goodbye.